Hi, and welcome back to the show. Today's a very special episode because tomorrow is my boyfriend and I's 14-month anniversary. Who counts the months? He does. So I am not forgetting this year. No way. I am on it 14 months and I'm very excited because he's going to be joining us today. Let's get ready for him. I keep reapplying this Maracuja Juicy Shift from Tarte because we're having a surprise guest coming on. I need to be looking good for my guest. I need to be looking top notch. This is my first guest on the show. Okay, can you believe? This is my first guest on the show and I'm very excited to be doing an interview because that's what I've been training for, everyone. A lot of people always ask, when is Chase going to propose? When is Chase going to finally get the ring? And these are all things we're gonna ask him today on this episode. So let's see how he does. Let's put him on the spot. He's not here yet, so let's just gear up. We're gonna really put him on the spot. I put a poll on my Instagram of all questions that you guys want me and Chase to answer, and I will say 75% of them were, when are you proposing? And then the other 25%, is that how math works? The other 25% is, when is Chase gonna get you a dog? So let's ask him all those hard-hitting questions today, everyone. I'm very excited. And then, of course, sprinkled in there is, how do you two work together? The real stuff, the hard-hitting questions. Oh, the hair is hairing. The hair is hairing. The sparkles are sparkling. The lip is lipping. This is divine. I'm very excited because he will be my very first guest and my most loved guest. Ah. Let's head to the closet. Welcome to Deanna's closet. My time steps are getting better. Practice makes perfect, everyone. Oh, today's outfit is from Lulu's. It is a red sparkle moment, and I have a special guest waiting for me. You already know it's our anniversary, so that's why Senor Chase is coming to the show. So I have to hurry up and give you the outfit of the day, the OOTD, the ooh-ta-da. She's giving red like my heart full of love. She's giving, he makes me sparkle. Back it up, peep the shoe. Move it forward, move it over. Peep the shoe. He's the twinkle of my eye. This outfit's a 10 out of 10. Okay, I'm gonna throw it over to those two little lovebirds. I am so excited to bring our first guest on the Peep the Confidence morning talk show. And of course, it is none other than Chase Berge. Hi, Chase. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Of course. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Chase and I are dating, and we're not really just dating, we also live together. I guess you can be dating and living together. We live together.
We did.
But I moved across the country to continue to date Chase, and then we ended up getting a place together.
That's right, we did long distance for how long? 5-6 months?
I think so.
8, maybe even a little longer, maybe 7 months? But we were flying back and forth all the time. This way is just so much better. So much better.
Yes. Okay, well, Chase, I'm excited to have you on today because there's so many things that me and Chase can talk about.
We can talk today.
There's two different that come to mind straight away for me that you're gonna choose which one we talk about.
Can't wait.
We can talk about confidence in a relationship and what it was like dating and what it's like dating a very confident person. That's one.
Cool.
And then we can also talk about, because we both have experience with breakups and how breakups can be good and how breakups can change your life. So we have two, each could be an episode. Yeah. So pick your poison. Would you like to talk about confidence in a relationship, or would you like to talk about breakup breakthroughs? Whoa, that was a title.
All right, so I really like both topics, but I think I'm gonna go with the second one. I think we jump into breakups today, and then next time you bring me on the show, if I'm so lucky, we talk about confidence.
Okay. Did you hear that? He wants to talk about breakups today. Me too, Chase.
Wearing all black.
Me too.
No, I'm just kidding.
And I'm wearing red. What, are you gonna break my heart? What's that? Okay.
No.
So we're gonna get into...
No.
We're gonna get into breakup breakthroughs. So I have had so many DMs. Whenever I do an Ask Me Anything, I get a handful of questions that are like, my heart has just been broken. What do I do now? I feel like I'm stuck. What do I do? Now, we've both been through a fair amount of breakups before we met each other. And each of our last relationships ended so differently. And I think it's so important to talk about. Do you want to go first? Do you want to talk about your breakup?
Yeah, where do I begin? Okay, so my last relationship was really a learning experience, if anything.
I hate that. I hate when people say learning experience for a relationship.
Right. Well, you could look at
Never
things
good.
multiple ways. You could look at it as like it was a horrible thing, or you could take away something from it, learn, and apply that in your life going forward. So I'm trying to go about it the most positive way, you know?
Right.
So, last relationship ended super badly. I didn't even realize I was in a toxic relationship until I was on the other side of it. So that's a huge plus right away. The relationship ended. Obviously, it was very sad. It wasn't good right away, and I was like pretty upset about it. The more and more time passed by, the more and more I realized all the things that I was sacrificing for this relationship that like weren't really good for me. So like I never really made time for myself. I always put the other person first, and that was really like holding me back from like doing a lot of the things that I wanted to do.
Well, okay, so what were those red flags? Like you said, you didn't notice them when you didn't notice those toxic traits when you were in the relationship. You only noticed it after. But what were they going back that set up for your future self of like, okay, I'm not going to tolerate these red flags? Like, what were they? Like you're saying you put them first.
Mm-hmm. One of the biggest red flags like really had to do with my work, and that was that she really didn't like me working with other women. So like I couldn't photograph girls. We couldn't like if a female client wanted to hire me for anything, I was running that by her. And even when I ran it by her, it was always a no-go, or it would be like petty, like, oh yeah, do whatever you want, like that type of thing. And it's like, no, like that's not good, that's bad. But I was like trying to respect that. And so I personally like took quite a hit on my business and my work there for this person, for none of what I was giving up to be like returned really. So
Yeah.
that was super bad right away.
Just so quick on that though. I like thinking of me, if you were doing like a Sports Illustrated shoe with models, I think I would feel some type of way about it though too,
Right.
you know?
But I think I would too. That's the thing. And
Right.
it's like, it wasn't like that at all.
Right.
It was like, okay, you're doing a headshot. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, it's not
Doing real
It'd be
estate.
different if I was doing like boudoir or like,
Boudoir.
boudoir.
Exactly.
You know, like I'm not. It wasn't like that. It's
Yeah.
not like I've never done a shoot like that in my life, or like it's not like I'm going to record OnlyFans or like anything. Like it was nothing like that. Like
which at the end of the day, it is a profession, right? Like
Yeah,
people
right.
are boudoir photographers, but
Totally,
I
like,
know
no shade to them.
I know you as you're a photographer, videographer. You do like action videos, like football, basketball,
Yeah, I would say
like
sports events,
sports,
like,
fashion.
yeah.
So if you came to me and were like, "Oh, hey girl," like, "Hey girl," you don't call me girl. You don't say "Hey girl."
Hey girl.
If you're like, "Hey Tiana, I'm just going to shoot this model boudoir photos," I would be like, wait, when?
Right.
What, did you shift category? It would be tough. I see how it could be tough, but if it was something of you're starting your business and it was like immediately limiting you from taking headshots, like that's an obvious line, you know?
Yeah, no, it was bad.
So you were feeling held back. You were feeling held back when you were trying to make business decisions.
Yeah, I would say that was like the biggest one that I really let slide for so long. As I continued to like make these like self-harming decisions by like being like, oh, okay, that's valid, like that's fine, I just won't do it. I was like realizing like, no, it shouldn't be this way. Like, especially as soon as I was on the other side of the relationship, I was like, oh, okay, like I could shoot with like another woman now, and it's like, it's totally fine. Like it wasn't ever like a romantic thing or like a flirting thing or anything like that. It was literally just work. So it was like, that was one of the biggest ones that I noticed right away.
Yeah.
Another thing that was super weird is like, she had really like pulled me away from all my friends, and like didn't really like me. I'm the type of person, like I want your friends to be friends with my friends. Like I want us all to be friends, like all that kind of stuff. And like with her, it was like, no, like either we hung out with her friends or like we just hung out. Like, it was never like, okay, let's hang out with my friends too or anything like that.
So
she would be so mad at me.
She kept those lives private. Like,
right, which really made a lot of sense in the end. But initially, like, I should have been like, oh, okay, that's weird, and I probably should have pressed for that more. But I just thought maybe like you had social anxiety or something like that, and they didn't want to be around other people or like, you know, like something like that. Me trying to make excuses for people. But no, that was definitely a red flag. And then that really was something that I noticed being on that other side of the relationship, because like you said, she kept that part of her life private. Yeah. I was cheated on in the end. So it was like, those friends probably knew what was going on. She didn't want me around them. She didn't want my friends around them. So. Right.
But when you're in it, you never see it. It's always when you're on the other side.
Yeah.
Which brings me to the whole thing about the breakup breakthroughs of like, not every relationship is toxic, but the ones that are, that beginning period when you first break up, you're connecting the dots. You're finding out what you let slide, what red flags you were willing to push aside, and what happened. And then you can process like, okay, what did you learn from that? After being like, okay, we're broken up. These are all the things I let slide, and also with the cheating of like, what helped you moving forward? Were you like, did you set a standard for yourself? Like moving on with relationships? Like
totally. My first thought, like right after it happened, was like, oh, okay, if I put in all this effort and I did all these things and this was the outcome, I could never like give that person a second try or go back through it the way things were currently. So I just went into this like self-dive. I was like, okay, I'm going to work on myself as much as possible. I'm gonna do the things that I want, do the things that that make me happy. So like right off the bat, I started making videos, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like not distracting myself in my work, but I'm like finding a creative outlet that's like making me happy. And like, oh yeah, it was my job this whole time too, but I was kind of putting that on the back burner because I was trying to like please this person. So I just really went on this like self-growth journey. Like I just spent a lot of time with myself, a lot of time with my friends, working and doing things that made me happy. So
how long was your like self-dive, like not dating, working on you? How long?
Yeah, it took a year. I would say like the sadness declined exponentially. Like right off the bat, it's fresh, it hurts the most. But then like the more and more I spend time focusing on myself, that quickly like started to fade. I didn't want to like go into dating again. I felt like I very much had clear cut, like knew who I was and what I wanted and what my boundaries were. That was something that like prior to going into that relationship, I didn't know. So I learned that from that relationship, like, oh, okay, these are things that I'm cool with, these are things that I'm not. And like, I need to stick to these before I'm ready to let someone else into my life.
Right, to never let those red flags happen to you again.
Totally.
Yeah. With breakups, like, you still have to let yourself go through the healing, right?
For sure.
Like, there's so many songs. I always tell this to anyone in my life who's going through a breakup, but there are so many empowering songs that's like, pick yourself back up, get out there, go date again, which is all great. Like, that is something that you should be working towards, but let yourself be sad. There's a period of sadness. That hurt you guys are sharing with me in your DMs. If you don't know what to do, let yourself sit in that for a second. You don't have to know what you're going to do. Sometimes breakups, like when they're toxic relationships or cheating's involved, of course you don't know what to do because you were planning on remaining with that person, you know? Like, of course you're going to feel confused. Let yourself be confused. And I know it's hard, but let yourself be sad. What you can start to do to take control of the sadness is like watch a sad movie, like let yourself cry and be like, oh, okay, this person isn't taking my happiness anymore. It's this movie, but I want to feel sad. Let me be sad. Music, dive deep into your music. And when you're ready from the sadness, when you're ready, then you can start something fresh, something new, working on yourself, diving into your business.
Right.
Like, sometimes
honestly, whatever you want.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like the narrative gets confusing of like, I have to dive right into my business. But you don't want to in a toxic way. You want to let yourself heal and then find your way out, which is actually amazing. Yeah. Like, it's a new chapter. You get to fall in love with yourself again. All that energy you've been giving to someone else, put that into you. Find new things that you love about you. I think breakups. I had a different breakup experience from Chase. I've had I would say two very serious relationships in my life, and one ended sad and the other ended extremely happy. Like this day we broke up, I was smiling. I was smelling smells I've never smelled. I was seeing colors I've never seen. I was happy again, and it was extremely toxic, obviously, because I was discovering new senses. So I was getting out of a toxic relationship, obviously. But I felt immediately better, and I swore to myself, I was like, I will never date again. I will never date again. It's not on my radar. I will never let myself go be that Deanna. I don't even know who that Deanna is. And I'll never go back there. And it was the best years of my life, being single, loving myself, finding out new quirks about myself that I love, improving myself. You better believe I am no longer a people pleaser.
Yeah.
I am a little bit.
I
am a little bit, but I will never go to that extent. I found my voice. I found things I wanted to be clear on, exactly what you're saying with boundaries. I wanted to be extremely vocal. If I see someone doing something offensive, rude, agitating, wronging me, I wanted to be the person that says it. I don't want to just let things slide anymore. I changed my entire life after that breakup. Yeah. And it was the best thing I've ever done. I know exactly who I am, and I really think it never would have happened without that breakup. Right. Which is huge. I mean, looking back, I'm happy it happened. I'm happy that terrible relationship happened to me, because it changed my life. It really did. Right.
No, I couldn't agree more. As much as it sucked to get hurt the way that I did, and I mean the way that you were hurting too, it really was a blessing in disguise, because now obviously we have each other, but obviously it was a big wake up call to don't just sit in this. Yeah. And make it work and put in all this effort to make it work if it's really not good for you. And at the end of the day, if you're not happy with it, don't make that work just because. Get out, find yourself, live your life, be happy.
Yeah. Live your life. Be happy. It's true. It's true. For those going through the breakup, I understand how hard it is, and I understand that hurt and that sadness. And again, let yourself live in that for a moment, and just know better is coming. If you put that, I always go back to this Thailand monk. When Chase and I went to Thailand, we talked to this monk who said they had something traumatic happen to them. And they said they don't dwell in the sadness. Whenever it comes in waves to them, this trauma, right? So let's say cheating. Whenever it comes in, you're feeling the hurt about it. Don't let yourself sit there for too long. Acknowledge that sadness, and then make yourself do something else. Right. Go for a walk. Go for a run. Start a new recipe. Build your business. Do something for you. Paint your nails. Do your hair. So then you start to train yourself. Whenever you're having these feelings of sadness, you're acknowledging in it, but you're able to move forward. You start to train yourself to move forward and better yourself. You just have to be honest with yourself. And true. That was another big thing he said, was that you just have to accept things for what they are. If something sucks, it sucks. As soon as you can accept that, you're good to move on. But if you don't accept that, or if you try to see a situation for not simply what it is, it's gonna leave you in. Bless you. Another big one's coming. Bless you. Sorry about that, go on. That's fine. So you just have to be honest with yourself and really see a situation for what it is, because as soon as you can accept something, the quicker you can move on and let it go. The longer you sit there and try to be maybe, let's say getting cheated on, for example, you could sit there and you could blame yourself and be okay, well, maybe if I did this differently or something. That's not the case. This person made their decision and did what they did. You can't change it. Accept it. It sucks. But now you can move on. If you sit there trying to make excuses for the person the whole time, it's going to last a lot longer. You're going to be sad a lot longer. Right. So. And just remember that. Be honest with yourself. Let me be the one to tell you, in a cheating situation, you did nothing wrong. It's not you. It's them. you know?
For sure.
And I have had a few messages being, what's wrong with me? What did I do? It's not you.
No.
They're missing out on you. Like, what an idiot. Do you know what I mean? What, like, their major loss. Like, there is nothing wrong with you. You are beautiful. You are enough. You are deserving of love that is, like, quality love. Not someone who's going to take advantage of you. That goes for you, too.
Yeah.
You're deserving of love. Like, it's not something you did. There's no mistake. A lot of times cheating comes from who knows what, deep, dark-rooted issues.
Oh, for
you
sure.
know? It is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's, I know we're heavily talking about cheating because it's so, like, it feels so black and white, right? It feels so, that's wrong. But I've had a relationship that ended on, like, it just ended, you know? There was no wrong person. It just, like, growing apart. I feel like those hurt a lot more, or at least for me, my 2 major breakups, my toxic relationship, I ended happy, but my not so toxic one, it was a very sad breakup because nobody did anything wrong. But what I can say about that is everything happens for a reason. Even if nothing major happened for your breakup, you have to stick to it. Like, you have to stick through it and find yourself on this new path. Start creating that life without the other person. Get excited about all of the new things you do on your own and how you did them on your own. Solo dates. I used to go on dates by myself all the time. I don't know if you did that. Did you do that?
No, I really like, it was like peak pandemic time. So like, I really wasn't like doing anything. I was like photos, videos, and music in the gym. Like, those were my things. I was like working out and like making stuff that was making me happy, just doing things that made me happy. I was surfing a lot. Like, I was just
prioritizing,
I guess
what you
call
love
that a
in
solo
life.
date, a little solo surf date.
That is a date.
I was bringing friends. I taught like, I would say 10 people in that time how to surf. Like, I would just take friends and be like, you don't know how to surf? No problem.
I think a great way to look at it is to date yourself. Put that energy into yourself. Find yourself only leads to loving yourself, you know? Find out all the quirky, fun, exciting new things about you without that other person in your life, and find the good, you know? Now, this, again, going back to what we said before, like, if this is a fresh breakup, let yourself feel sad. Don't be ashamed of feeling sad. You have to go through like all the stages of grief before you can really bloom. But just know from both of us, like, on the other side, like, it really does feel like on the other side. But just know from us that exciting love for yourself is coming. Good growth that you're gonna have, and all the love that you're about to just pour into yourself is coming. And it's the trajectory is up. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
It's giving peak. It's giving skyrocketing. It's giving to the moon.
To the moon. There it is. That's what I was gonna say.
To the moon, baby. I'm proud of you wherever you're at in your breakup journey. I am proud of you and I love you. And just know that you're gonna make it out better than you did before.
That's right. You're gonna grow.
You're definitely gonna grow. To the moon. Okay.
Well, thank you for having me on.
Thank you for coming on and discussing breakups with me.
We're not breaking up.
We're not breaking up, even though he's wearing all black and he chose to talk about breakups today. We are not breaking up. And let me know if you like having Chase on, because did you just go for the boob?
I didn't need to.
Chase.
Yeah,
Let me know. Let me know if you enjoyed having Chase on, because we do have something else we'd love to talk about. We would love to get into what it's like dating confident women.
I would love to talk about that.
And how being confident while you're dating really changes the game.
For sure.
Because we have some cutie patootie stories, and I would love to have him back on. Thank you for being my first guest on the show.
I feel honored, and I just want to say I'll be checking the ratings, so hopefully they don't tank too hard with me on the show, but
they will not.
I would love to come back and talk about all things
Peep the Confidence.
subscribe.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us. I'm gonna throw this over to, who is that good looking queen over there?
Ooh, look at her.
Diana?
I'm not looking.
Take it away. Today's giveaway is Mario Badescu. They have sent Badescu? Badescu. They sent over 2 gift package skincares. This one is the mini size facial spray, lip balm, coconut body butter, body soap. So freaking cute. And then you have the full size body scrub, coconut oil, and coconut body butter. So congratulations. As always, I am selecting a winner from my Hype Squad community. The link is in the description below. Thank you for watching. And this is a very good gift. Enjoy every second of it. I love you. Stay back.